Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Ross. Today we're going to talk about how to display the customer's last contact date, meaning the last date that you contacted them, right? We got a list of contacts. Or their last order date, or whatever date you want to happen to see on their customer form in your Microsoft Access database. Today's question comes from Jake from State Farm. No, I'm just kidding. I bet you a lot of you Jakes get that all the time. It's Jake in Dayton, Ohio, one of my platinum members. Jake says, I'd like to be able to open the customer record and see the last contact date without having to open the contact form. Same goes for the last order date. And if I could see both of those on the customer list form as well, that would be fantastic. What's the best way to do this in Microsoft Access? Well, there's a couple different ways to do it depending on what you're doing. If you're on a single form, the best way is to use DMAX. If you're on a continuous form like the customer list, the best way to do it is with an aggregate form. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, I will start off saying this is an expert level video. Expert is what I consider sandwiched between beginner and developer. So we don't need any VBA programming to do this, but it's a little bit beyond the basic stuff. You will need to know a couple of functions and how to make aggregate queries. Let me show you some videos first that you might want to watch before watching this one. First, watch my DMAX video. Literally, the example that I give in this video is how to display the last order date on the customer form. And we're going to do this again real quick. I'm just going to review it. All right, but go watch this. I go into DMAX in a lot more detail on how it works. And also go watch this video on aggregate queries. Again, I give another example very similar to this one, how to show the last contact date. Today, we're going to put these all together, okay? And also go watch this video on outer joins. This is so you don't miss any information. If you join customers and contacts and you got customers without contacts, you won't see the customer. So this is important too, all right? These are all free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. Go watch those. Come on back, and I'll show you how to put the Legos together differently, which is what we're doing today, okay? Okay. All right, here I am in my Tech Help free template. This is a free database you can grab off my website if you want to, and in here we have customers, and customers have contacts, and customers also have orders. And a contact to me is every time you talk to the customer, you put in information in here, like we talked on the phone. All right. And so that's the last contact date. Now, if you want to see that last contact date here, which might be handy if you pull up the customer's record, you might see, oh, we haven't talked to this guy in 4 months. Let's figure out what's going on, right? Let's go to Design View. And I'm going to come in here. I'll just add a field down below, copy, paste. Okay. And we're going to change this to last contact, and this will be a DMAX. Now, it's okay to use DMAX on a single form, right? Single form means one record because you're just looking up one thing, right? So open this up, come in here. Let's change the name of it to last contact date maybe, and I'll change the format to short date while I'm in here. Short date. And we'll come in here and we'll change the control source to, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better, Shift F2. Oh, hang on, my zoom window is really big. Let me resize this so it's easier for you guys to see it. Okay, there's my zoom window, Shift F2. And this is going to be equals DMAX. Give me the largest value. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the largest contact date, and that goes in quotes, right, comma. Where are you looking it up from? I'm looking it up from the contact table, contact T. And what's my criteria? Well, the customer ID has to be equal to the customer ID on the current form. So close those quotes and put and customer ID, right? That will take the customer ID and stick it in here inside the string. So this will be customer ID equals 4 or whatever that value is. Okay. And one more thing you might want to do is wrap this whole thing inside of NZ, right? NZ is the null to 0, which means if this thing comes back with a null value, what do you want to put in here? Normally, I'd put a different date, like a really early date or something, but since this is just a text box, we can just put in here an empty string like that. Just display nothing. All right, hit OK. Let's close this, save it, Control S, close it, open her back up again, and there's your last contact date. Let's go to someone who doesn't have a contact date. Let's see. Let's go into a different customer. Let's go to Jean-Luc here. And we'll go to contacts, and I'm going to delete his contacts so he doesn't have a contact date. All right, now if I refresh this with F5, that just shows up as blank. See? Okay. And one thing I like to do with stuff like this since the user can't edit it, I like to make it gray. Like maybe let's go with that one. Try to match up that one maybe. See, all the fields that the user can't edit are gray. All right. You want more practice? Let's do the same thing with the order table. We'll see their last order date. And I happen to know these fields like the back of my hand, but you might need to open up the table so you got the list of fields so you can see them there. Sometimes I'll just do a screenshot of this and drop it like in Paint so I can see what all the fields are, right? I know what they are because I use this database constantly. But let's go again into the customer form, design view. All right, let's copy this guy, copy, paste, and you can make this pretty later on if you want to. We'll change this to last order. All right, open this guy's properties up. We'll change this to last order date. Okay, and now we've already got this written. We just need to change the field names. This is going to be order date. We're looking up the order date from the order T, right? And this is the same. Customer ID is also found on the order table. So hit OK, save it, close it, close it. Let me make sure. Yep, order date. I was right. Okay. Be kind of embarrassing if I had that wrong, right? Shut that down, open her back up again. There you go. Last contact date, last order date. See? That's not too hard. Now, this I've already covered in my DMAX video. The reason why you don't want to do this on a continuous form like that is because this has to run for each one of these records, and it will slow down if you've got, thousands of customers in here. So you want to avoid using any kind of a D function, DLOOKUP, DMAX, DCount, DMin, DSum, all those things. Don't use those on continuous forms and try not to use them in reports. Okay, they're fine on single forms. That's what they're designed for. So how do we do them here? Well, for this, since you got a bunch of records, you want to use an aggregate query. All right, so let's come over here, go to Create, Query Design. I'm going to bring in the customer table. By the way, you can bring them in from over here or from over here. I never use this thing. I always turn that thing off. Bring them in from the customer table. And then we also need to join in records from the contact table. Okay, now here's the important thing. Make this a left outer join, right? You want to see all the records from the customer table and the records from the contact T where the join fields are equal. If you don't, they have to have a matching value on each side. So if you got a customer like Jean-Luc with no contacts, he won't show up in your customer table or in your customer list, and that's not good. So always make sure you do this join with a little arrow there. That way you see all the customers and the contacts where there are some. All right. Now bring in the stuff from the customer table that you want to see on the form. So customer ID, first name, last name. We'll get rid of the rest of the stuff. And then from over here, bring in the contact date. That's what you want to see. That's the important thing. Now we're going to make this an aggregate query by turning this totals button on. And down here, you'll see group by, group by, group by. And then contact date, we want to see the most recent one, which is max. Remember, just like DMAX, right? Dates maximum equals furthest in the future. You want to see their first contact date, use min. Don't use first and last ever. I got a whole video on why you don't want to use first and last. All right, use max. All right, let's save this as, this will be my, let's call it the customer list query. So we're gonna put this behind the customer list form. Okay, now if I run it now, there you go. You can see these are just too narrow. We got to widen that out, right? Max of contact date. Let's channel like max of contact date. Let's rename that. Let's call that last contact date. Again, Shift F2 to zoom in. We're going to use an alias here. Last contact date, colon, contact date. We're just giving it a new name. That's called an alias. Got a whole separate video on aliasing. Aliasing. I'll put a link to that video down below. But that just renames it, so when the final field comes out, it's last contact date. And you can see we are seeing Jean-Luc, even though he doesn't have one. I think someone else is missing one too. Yep. Regina Barkley. That's Reginald Barkley's fake transporter accident twin. What about the order date? Can you stick the order date in here too? Sure. You can have multiple other tables on this side. Bring in the order date. Right? Do the same, or the order table. Do the same thing. So you got a left outer join like that. Bring in the order date, and make sure you pick max down here for this as well. You can bring in other tables in here as long as you're only grouping by the records from one table. If you group by more than one table, you're going to get a copy of each record for each other table. So you know if the customer has two contacts and you got two group bys under there, one for customer, one for contacts, you're going to get one record for each of those, right? And you don't want that. So all these other guys have to have a function like max or min or something in them. But once you do that and you run it, there you go. There's max of order date, which again, we can alias that. All right, this order date down here, we'll change this to last order date, just like that. All right, save it, run it, and now we can put this data in our form. Now be careful though, because notice down here, I can't add a new record and you can't change this stuff. See, I'm trying to change it, trying to type. Once you do this, once you turn it into an aggregate query, it becomes a non-updatable record set. So this is good for stuff you want to view, right? I only care about viewing records here. I usually don't edit stuff in continuous forms anyways. Okay, but once you do that, you can no longer edit stuff here. So let's go into here now, design view. I'm going to open up the properties for this form. We're going to change its record source. This is where it's getting its data from now to this customer list query, the thing we just made. And as soon as you just do that, you see that these fields are no longer working. So let's just get rid of them here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Customer sense will become last contact. And then we're going to make last order next to it over here. Last order. All right. I'm going to slide these over to the left. Now this guy's got the green arrow, which means the database can't find customer sense because it's not in the underlying query. We just got rid of it, right? I change these things up all the time. Don't worry about it. Double click there. Over here, we're going to drop this box down. We're going to call that last contact date. Don't forget, copy, paste, change the name, right? The control source is where you're getting your data from. The name is what this box is actually called. That's the name of that box right there. Okay, copy, paste, slide it over here like that. And then we're going to come over here again and we're going to make this the last order date. Copy, paste. We're going to close it, shrink that up a little bit, save it, close it, and let's open her back up again, and there you go. Oh, okay, we got wide stuff in here again. We got to change the format. Right-click, design view. Do you really want to see the times in these boxes? Probably not, so I'm going to select both of them. What did I do there? I clicked on the first one, held the Shift key down, click on the second one. Right-click, Properties, go to Format, and in here we'll put short date again. Where are you? Short date, or whatever format you want. And of course, I use ISO dates, which is year, month, day, which is the best date format ever. Got another whole video on that. I'll put a link to it down below. I'm on a mission to get the whole world on ISO dates. But there you go. There's your complete customer list. First name, last contact date, last order date. These load nice and fast. Aggregate queries run a whole lot faster than individual DLOOKUP or DMAX functions will. Just trust me, especially if you got lots of records. I only have 33 records in here. If you got 33,000, this form will take a while, especially if you're pulling it over a network. Okay, so trust me, stick with aggregate queries for your continuous forms. If you like learning with me and this stuff was right at your level, you want to check out my expert lessons. So I got beginner, which is the people getting started making forms and building simple reports and queries and stuff. I got 9 beginner levels. Then I got 32 levels of expert lessons where we go through all the crazy stuff you can do with Access without needing to program. All the different functions, relationships, referential integrity, all that kind of stuff. That's the expert series. All right, and that's before we get into the advanced stuff, which is macros, and the developer stuff, which is VB stuff. A lot of people don't want all that, and I get it. You can do fantastic things in Microsoft Access without needing to know how to program, although programming is really cool. But check out my expert lessons. There's the link. I'll put a link to it down below as well. But that's going to do it for this video, folks. There is your Tech Help video for today. Hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. A special thank you and shout out to our diamond sponsors. Juan Soto with Access Experts Software Solutions, manufacturing experts specializing in Access and SQL Server. Sammy Shama with Shama Consultancy, a certified Microsoft Access expert who offers personalized one-on-one tutoring. And Amanda Nicole Consulting, specializing in helping businesses move from complex Excel sheets to an Access database. You'll find links to the diamond sponsors in the description down below the video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my TechHelp page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the TechHelp page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my TechHelp videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any TechHelp questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.